paint a scene onto some wet paper, fold it over to create a reflection in water. Well, I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. I'm going to use dry paper to start with, and you just fold your paper in half and paint your scene on the top half of the paper using the fold as the bottom of your picture. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a very simple mountain scene. And what's on the top of every mountain? Snow. So I'm just going to slosh some white paint on there. And I think the idea with this technique is to keep your paint nice and thick so that it doesn't dry too quickly. There it is, just the tops of the mountains. And some mountains in the distance. Remember the old tip, colour fades when it gets into the distance, so I won't do those mountains as brightly coloured. There's the snow. And now for the mountains themselves, well, let's drag a bit of grey in here through the snow. There it is. So that's the dark side of the mountain. Just come around here, make it a little bit lighter where the sun is shining. And those mountains in the distance, again, just slightly lighter. A little less colour in them. Just bring it down there. And now on the lake side, or the river side, whatever the water's going to be, I'm going to try a technique that I really enjoy. This is called stippling. And it's one of those techniques that actually does the work for you. If you get a stiff brush and you just stab it at the paper, what it does is it creates your bushes or your trees for you. It's a bit darker, a little bit smaller by the lakeside in the distance. And on the other side, I'm going to put some bigger trees. Again, use the stippling technique, just building up to bigger trees and brighter greens here in the foreground. Just a bit more green in. This is a great technique, this. It's also good fun to do. There it is. And just to finish it off, I'm just going to do the silhouette of a couple of trees just down the bottom there. And now, the good bit. Take some water and literally slosh it onto the bottom half of your folded paper. Just covering the whole of the bottom half with water. There it is. And then fold your picture over, press it into the water, and there you have a water reflection picture. Now, you know how I like sloshing colour around? Well, I've discovered some great ways of making some very colourful pictures by moving paint. Just squeeze some ready-mix poster paint into a dollop that's just a bit bigger than a 2p piece, and then take another colour and just squeeze a ring like that around the first colour, and then take a third colour and squeeze another ring just on the outside of that. And then take another piece of paper, the same size as your first piece, only it can be a different colour, and carefully line it up and lay it on the top like that. Now, if you take your finger, you can just feel the paint squidging around in between those two pieces of paper. Then lay your finger flat on the top piece and just move the paint inside the two pieces of paper. Just squeeze it along, and you can actually feel it squidging under your fingers. Just move it all the way round, like that, in a sort of star shape. Just keep it moving. And then, when you peel back the top piece, if you've used two different coloured pieces of paper, you get two very different pictures. Another way to move paint even further is to mix it with a little bit of water. Now, again, I've got some ready-mixed poster paint here, and I've mixed it with just a little bit of water, but it's a case of experimenting to get the right consistency. And just pour out some blobs of the mixture onto some card or stiff paper and make the blobs roughly about 6 centimetres apart from each other. And this in itself is great fun to do, just pouring it out onto the card there. So just move those to one side. And when you're ready, grab hold of the card and move some paint. And just before it hits the bottom, move it to the side, and again, over to the other side. And you just sort of judge when you want to turn the card. And there you have a fantastic motion picture. Lay it down flat to dry, and there it is. Try it yourself, move some paint, and give yourself an art attack.